What's up, film fans? Today I'm going to be talking about the brand new biopic sports drama film, King Richard. This film is directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green, and he's directed one of my favorite films this year, Joe Bell. I want to thank you guys for clicking on this video. If you enjoy all kinds of movie content, consider subscribing to the channel, give the video a like, and maybe comment if you're going to see this film. It's currently in theaters and also on HBO Max. Now, without further ado, let's get to the review. King Richard stars Will Smith, Anjanou Ellis, John Bernthal, Sanaya Sidney, and Demi Singleton, and follows Venus and Serena Williams in their career of becoming tennis superstars, and with the help of their father, Richard Williams, coaching them along the way. So going into this film, I knew that this director did Joe Bell, he did one of my favorite films this year, and I knew that I would probably like this film. And I have to say that this isn't a very inspiring film. I think Will Smith, he does a really good job in his role as Richard Williams. And throughout this film, he really is really hard on these girls. He really wants them to succeed. He has this whole plan and book on how he wants them to succeed. At times, I feel like he's very strict, like almost too strict on them, especially with how he wants them to perform. He wants them to practice, which I agree with. But there are certain times where they're wanting to be competing in tournaments and he doesn't want them to do that. He's all about school and all that stuff, which is cool. But I felt at times that he was very harsh on them, and it'd be very interesting to see how accurate that is to the depiction that they put in this movie. Because if it is, he's a very stubborn man and he plays that role to the T in this. I like to point out in this type of film, they're only going through their teenage years. They don't go past when they're about 15, so you're only getting a small portion size of Venus and Serena Williams in this. I would be really curious to know, like before they became teenagers, how involved were they with sports or tennis? Did their dad kind of push them into that direction? The film doesn't really answer these questions. It only kind of answers when they're teenagers and how they're practicing, and they have all these different coaches and stuff. And it only focuses on that small portion. Some things I've noticed throughout the film is one of the girls is definitely more focused on than the other in this. I thought that was kind of interesting, and there is heavily focus on obviously their father, Richard Williams, in this. However, I think when they made this movie, they had the intentions of honoring their father and just thanking him for all the things and all the sacrifices that he did for them. There's definitely noticeable things in this film. For instance, they live in the projects. They have guys hitting on them. He doesn't want them to be involved with them, and he gets beat up in the film. He's taking beatings for these girls. He really wants his girls to be respected, which you can't blame the guy in this. And he also just wants better from them, to not be in the projects and to have a better life. And that is something that you can't blame any father for wanting to do, trying to better their children's lives. I think that's kind of what we all want as parents. I think as far as the performances in this, Will Smith, he does a really good job. I think he's going to contend for probably some type of award here, and I'm not sure if he's going to win or not, but I can tell you he's definitely going to be in contention for sure. Anjanou Ellis, she does a really good job in her role as well. I think everybody really does a pretty good job in acting in this film. I think that the cinematography and the way that it's shot is pretty well. Nothing really unique about any of the shots, but it's filmed well, and I don't really have any complaints with that. If they were ever going to do any kind of film again about these two women, I would kind of like to see it expanded, maybe about their careers, or when they were younger, before they were in their teenage years, they get into different kinds of sports. Or I really like to know how they got into tennis before they got in their teenage years. Did they really have any interest before then, or did their father kind of push them to it, or how did that really work? Those are the kind of the questions I was thinking when I was watching this film. So in closing, I'm going to give a score for this film a 3.5 out of 5. I think that it had a lot of good elements. I think that there's a lot of good acting in it. I wish they would have expanded more. It was such a short period of their lives, so I wish they could have expanded that more in the story. I do understand that it is a lot about their father, and it's kind of like a little letter to their father, if you will. just kind of thanking him for what he did to kind of get them to where they're at. But I wish that they could have expanded more on past the fact that, they were only 15 in this story. So I wish that they could have went a little bit further. I think it's a pretty solid film, and I think you guys should give it a watch. And I do also recommend, if you like this kind of film, please check out Joe Bell. This director did that film as well, and I really enjoyed it. It has a really touching story, and definitely check that one out as well. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I will see you guys on my next review. Give a comment below and let me know what you thought about this film and if you're planning to see it. Thank you guys for watching.